This is to the RIAA. You will never, ever have the kind of industry you did back in the 70s when the only replayable media was um, was the record. Only consumer replayable media was the record. In the 80s, he had cassette tapes and videotapes, and that was already the beginning of the end of the record industry, okay? And then they came out with CDs, which were perfect recordings of the original material. People dispute it that it's imperfect, but nobody's been able to prove that it's worse. Um, also, um, it was guys like Sony and Philips that came up with the idea of creating MPEG audio and video because they were trying to stuff movies onto CDs. And then they came up with DVDs that use MPEG compression. And the internet was created by the government in order to prevent, uh, to permit communication in the event of a nuclear strike. So it was inevitable that the RIAA would be unable, and their copyright holders and all the people that produce the music will be unable to get back that consumer base that's going to be happily purchasing their music. Do not torture people on YouTube for having access to the music and putting it up. Don't try to uphold copyright claims and things like that, because the thing is that you're basically killing off the artist, you're killing off the music. Even if you think the music will be around, there won't be anybody to share the taste because they'll be all dead by the time. Um, and so it's basically like people who are in real estate and they bought up all these homes to fill people with, and then nobody can afford the homes, so basically they rot because nobody's living in them. This is the same thing that's happening with records and CDs and stuff from the past. Nobody is going to be carrying on to listen to the same stuff. All the bands will be forgotten, and their estate will be worthless. I mean, some of them, yeah, but I imagine there'll be people like the Eagles that will do so much better than the Eagles ever did, and their estate will probably become worthless. If they continue to slap people's wrists for putting up their music onto YouTube because they love it. Okay, so it's kind of like shitting on your consumer base, and after a while they're going to get the idea, and they're going to get the idea that they don't need the Eagles, they don't need the Beatles, they don't need any of the old artists because they're all has-beens, and nobody's going to really give a shit. They're going to pick up whatever it is they tend to like off the internet from whatever band, because those bands are not going to be slapping them on the wrists every time they want to share music with their friends. So you have yourself to blame because you're trying to return to your mother's womb, the mothers of the Frank Zappa mothers or whatever. You're trying to return to the womb of what the 70s was, and you can never do it. It'll never happen. All you're doing is you're ruining your consumer base. You're basically pissing on your consumers. So keep doing it. I don't have any problem with it anymore because I'm just going to forget all the Beatles songs that I've ever learned, Elton John's, Paul Simon's. I'm losing interest in this stuff because of the way that you treat your consumers.